Hey there, Cinemaster fans. Hope you're ready for some movie magic. Let's dive right in. Our movie starts with a dress designer named Zhenya. She was adjusting a wedding dress for her client, who was getting married soon. But then the groom walks in, so she hides and tells him that this is a bad tie. When Zhenya's daughter Polina acts up, Victor the groom tells her to stay put and that he'll quiet her down. Zhenya looks at him and zones out for a moment. When she gets home, she finds out her daughter is sick. She calls her lover, and Polina's father, Kirill, had already left her and Polina. But Zhenya decides to go to the workshop where he works, and as usual, she sees him with another woman. The next morning, she goes to work crying. Her friend sees her and asks, "What's wrong?" She says, "Every time I see him with a different woman." We learn that Kirill never loved her. He was just using her, and as soon as he found out she was pregnant, he left her. Her friend tells her, "Act like you didn't see anything. He'll come back to you." When Zhenya gets home, she keeps looking at the drawings Kirill made for her. Her mother tells her, "He told you more than once that he doesn't want you. He will never love you unless you cast a spell on him." The next day, she goes to Kirill's house, but neither he nor his mother like her. Zhenya knows his mother doesn't like her. When his mother asks, "What are you doing here?" Zhenya says, "Your son hasn't answered me for 3 days." The mother says, "He won't answer you at all. Anyway, he's sleeping at the workshop." She goes to the workshop again and sees him with the girl. When he asks why she came, she tells him, "I love you and don't want our daughter to grow up without you." He tells her, "I don't want you at all." She gets upset and hits him, but he gets angry and says, "I don't want to see your face again," and storms off. At this point, Zhenya decides to take his blood-stained handkerchief and goes to the witch, telling her, "I want you to make me a love spell." The witch says, "Are you sure about what you're asking?" Zhenya says, "I'm absolutely sure. I want him to want no one else but me." The witch says, "Leave it to me, but what I'm about to tell you must be done in the church. Do you have a friend getting married soon?" "But she must truly love..." Zhenya says she knows someone getting married soon. The witch gives her a paper with instructions and cuts her hand. On Victor's wedding day, Zhenya goes to the church and hides upstairs. As soon as the ceremony starts, she does everything written on the paper in order. At that moment, Kirill feels something strange. After Zhenya finishes the spell, she eats the piece the witch gave her, then feels very sick. She leaves, everything spinning, and collapses. Victor, the groom, runs to her and, acting like a doctor, takes her to the hospital, leaving the wedding behind. The bride and the man who loves her go with them. The bride cries over her ruined wedding and throws herself into his arms. When Zhenya wakes up, she finds Victor beside her, telling her she had a bad case of the flu. When he asks if there's anyone from her family he should call, she says, no, her daughter is with her mother, and she doesn't want to worry her. She thanks him for what he did and apologizes for ruining his wedding. When he goes to check on his wife, he's shocked to find her in the dressing room with the man who loves her. She runs after Victor, apologizing, but he tells her he now knows her true self and leaves. At night, Zhenya is asleep and wakes up to a noise in the room. She gets up and finds the window open and is terrified. When she turns around, she finds Kirill in front of her saying, "I can't stop thinking about you." He asks her to forgive him and for them to get back together. Zhenya agrees. He carries her back to the workshop. She's happy and can't believe it. The next day, she wakes up and finds him being super romantic, telling her he wants to draw her like before. Her mother calls, asking where she is because the storm broke the door. So Zhenya tells her she and Kirill will come. Kirill drives her home and goes in with her. Her mother is surprised he's back and wants to help fix the house. When Zhenya asks her mother to stay with them for a few days, her mother says she doesn't want to bother. As soon as Zhenya leaves the room, Kirill tells her mother, "Honestly, you're going to bother us if you stay." The mother is shocked and asks, "What are you saying?" He says, "If you stay, you'll bother us." When Zhenya comes back, her mother says, "The taxi is outside." She asks if Zhenya and Polina want to come with her, but Zhenya says, "No," and poses so he can draw her. When she says she has work and needs to go, he says, "I want to stay with you all the time." She says, "I can't just sit with you all the time." He says, "Then I'll make plaster masks of your face so I can always see you." When she goes to work, she finds the bride returning the dress, saying they should send the money to Victor, the groom. When Zhenya apologizes, the bride says, "Because of you, my wedding was ruined," then storms off. After that, Zhenya calls the woman who did the spell, but she hears a strange voice, someone telling her, "You got what you wanted." Suddenly, she sees a bride grabbing her. She screams and backs away. When her friend comes in and asks what's wrong, she replies, "Nothing, I just didn't sleep well." When she returns home, she doesn't find Kirill or Paulina, so she quickly goes to the workshop. She finds her making a lot of straw dolls and hears Paulina crying. She runs to get her and sees Kirill coming toward her. She tells him, "I thought you loved us and came back for us." He replies, "That happened, but I don't know what's happening to me. I only want you." When she tells him, "You scare me with the way you act," he says, "I'm sorry," and kisses her forehead. He tells her he wants her by his side all the time and doesn't want her to leave him. The next day at work, he calls her and tells her to come back because he misses her, but she had already started to feel afraid and tells him she has work and can't come back now. She sees Victor, who is returning the money she sent him, so she apologizes for what happened because of her. But he thanks her and tells her that he got to know his bride's true nature because of this. He stands and talks to her for a while and holds her hand, and it seemed like he was interested in her, but she sees a scary hand holding her and gets scared and feels severe pain in her stomach. Victor takes her home, but she's surprised to find Kirill waiting for her outside, and he starts beating up Victor. She tries to separate them and tells him that Victor is a doctor and was helping her because she suddenly got sick. Kirill apologizes to her and also to Victor. When Victor leaves, Kirill tells her that Paulina is at her mother's. She says she will go to get her, but he insists on taking her. He takes her to his mother's house. When she asks why he brought her there, he says, "Because you will be my wife." She gets upset and tells him he knows she doesn't love her. She enters the house and no one could stand her. When Kirill tells her to bring the ring so he can put it on Zhenya, she says, "No, this ring will only be worn by someone I approve of." He gets upset, grabs her hand, kisses it, then grabs the pliers and takes the ring off her finger. He hits her husband and calmly goes to put the ring on Zhenya. She was shocked and speechless. When she ran out, he chased her and told her, "Paulina is not at your mother's." She was shocked and asked him where she was while hearing her daughter's cries from outside. She takes her and tells him, "You're crazy, you don't love me." He says, "I love you and can't stay away from you." She tells him, "That's not true. I made you a love spell so you would love me." He comes closer and tells her he can't stay away from her, then suddenly hits her and she passes out. When she wakes up, she finds herself in a bathtub, and the crazy one wanted to cast her in plaster so she would stay with him forever. She hears her daughter's voice, so she struggles and frees herself before it dries. She moves quietly so he doesn't see her, but unfortunately, he hears her. When he comes for her, he finds her gone. She hits him and runs away quickly, but he doesn't leave her and chases her. She stands in front of a car to escape, and the woman turns out to be brave and takes her with her. The woman realizes she's running from a man and tells her all men are cheaters. When Kirill chases after them, she tries to escape him until he gets into an accident. She takes her daughter and goes to Victor's house. She takes off the ring and throws it away, finally admitting she was wrong and says she doesn't want him anymore. The next morning, she stands looking at Victor, and she had her eyes on him. He tells her he brought her diapers and some things, and she thanks him for everything he's done for her. When he goes to the hospital, he finds Sonia coming to him, apologizing and asking him to listen, but he ignores her, letting her talk to herself. The nurse tells him that someone died in an accident, and when he sees the hand, he realizes it's Kirill. As she wakes up to a noise in the house, finds the window open and a broken vase. When she enters the bathroom, she hears her daughter's voice, and as she turns around, she sees this in front of her and the door closes on her. She keeps banging on the door until it opens. Then she grabs her daughter, terrified, crying and looking around. Victor returns and finds her in a hysterical state. When he searches the house, he finds no one. Zhenya tells him, "Kirill was here. I don't know how he found our place." He looks at her as if to say, "It's okay. Kirill is dead anyway." She is shocked and doesn't believe it until she sees for herself. She sits next to him, devastated, and keeps saying, "I'm sorry, forgive me. All this happened because of me. I loved you and didn't want you to leave me and Paulina." But suddenly, he turns his head toward her and pulls her quickly into the fridge. She keeps banging until she gets out. Victor sees her and goes to her. Sonia comes and sees him beside her and says, "Is this you don't want to listen to me about?" Zhenya looks at her, embarrassed, carrying the guilt for what happened. When she leaves, Victor tells Sonia, "You have no feelings for anyone. Zhenya's husband died today." She tells him she is the reason for everything that happened and confesses everything she did, asking him to take her to the witch who made the spell. He does, but doesn't believe her story. When Zhenya tells the witch she wants to fix what she did, the witch says, "Your love wasn't sincere. Accept what will happen to you next. Only death will solve your problem." Victor tells her to ignore her, saying she's just talking nonsense, but Zhenya knows she's in trouble and begs her for a solution. She looks at Victor and says, "The solution is with him. Can you tell me why you married Sonia when you didn't love her?" He falls silent and doesn't answer. She says, "Then tell me why you're here now." He looks at Zhenya and still stays silent. She tries to change the spell she cast. Zhenya stands outside at the door. An old woman looks at her. Inside, the witch has summoned the devil with whom she made a pact. Zhenya enters and sees that Victor's face has changed. He says in a scary voice, "She's the one who summoned me. She deceived me, and her love wasn't true." And he means that Victor and Sonia should have truly loved each other. He insists on taking Zhenya's soul. The witch tries to distract him, but it's useless, until the witch's mother enters, and she is the one who manages to free Victor. She tells them they are all in danger and must act. And to solve the disaster they are in, the wedding day must be repeated, but in reverse. So Victor goes to Sonia. He tells her that lies must be punished, and they lied about their love story. He says, "I don't know if I love you or you love me." He tells her what Zhenya did. She gets upset and tells him she won't help him, and leaves. But the spirit of Kirill appears to her. She gets terrified, and decides to listen and help him. At that time, Zhenya was in the church and starts casting the spell, but she sees a black cloak in front of her and gets scared, wanting to leave. Suddenly, the cloak wraps around her, and the devil possesses her. She keeps screaming, until the witch's mother arrives with her staff. She manages to free her at last. Meanwhile, Zhenya's mother is at home and notices that the nails in the wood are coming out by themselves. It seems Kirill's spirit will not calm down until he takes revenge on all of them. Back at the church, the old witch starts her magic, but every time she says something, Zhenya gets weaker. Suddenly, Zhenya is thrown to the ground and starts making strange moves. Everyone sees her and gets shocked. The witch continues chanting. Suddenly, Sonia starts laughing loudly. The devil leaves Zhenya and possesses Sonia. She grabs Victor and tries to finish him. The witch tries to control her, but unfortunately, the devil is stronger and breaks her staff. Sonia's lover quickly runs to save her, holding her and the witch. The witch struggles until she manages to regain control. With that, she gets rid of the spirit, but then they are surprised when Sonia speaks in Zhenya's mother's voice, acting obedient and saying, "Polina, where are you?" She looks at Zhenya and tells her that her daughter has disappeared, then faints again. Quickly, they go with Victor to the house but find neither her mother nor her daughter. She sees that plaster face and realizes that Kirill's spirit is doing all this to take revenge on her. She takes Victor and they go to the workshop searching for them until they hear their voices. They run and find them tied to chairs. Zhenya quickly unties them. Victor confronts Kirill, who wants to finish him off, saying he won't leave anyone alive and will take revenge on everyone Zhenya loves. It turns out he knows about Victor's love for Zhenya. Zhenya enters and begs Kirill to stop what he's doing, telling him that she's the reason, not them, and promises that if he lets them live, she'll join him. He actually lets Victor go. Zhenya says, goodbye to him, then goes to the bathtub to join Kirill and die. We see her dressed in black, holding the candle she used for the spell. Kirill is waiting to marry her, and that's how the movie ends. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you did, make sure to subscribe for more awesome content. Thanks for watching.